What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Mike's Monday Motivation. Thanks for being here. Thanks for showing up this week. Thanks for getting out of bed. Thanks for getting after it this Monday morning. Now, today I want to review with you an activity I just took my entire company through in an attempt to create some more consistency, value, intention, and ultimately create as much value as possible with our company meetings. So, throughout the year, we've had new employees leave, employees come, roles change, leadership changes. We've grown pretty aggressively over the last 18 months or so. And so some of the meetings started to get elongated and elaborated, and the agenda started getting a little bit too loose. And we had some meetings that had too many people, some meetings with not enough people. And so we really went through and reanalyzed each of the meetings that we have. So the first thing I went through is each of our departments, right? Sales, marketing, operations, productions, finance. Went through each of those, said what needs to happen in each of those. And so to give you a quick meeting cadence for us, we're starting to do a sales meeting on Mondays. We do a marketing meeting on the first Tuesday of every month. We do an operation initiative review every Tuesday. We do a production and coaching leadership every Friday. We were doing a team call every Friday morning, but we adjusted that to every other. And then we have one-on-ones throughout, and I do 2 calls a month with my CFO. So that's a brief overview. But what we did was we looked at each meeting. We started with, and if in your company you're doing this right now, highly suggested, what is the desired outcome of that meeting? There's so often we get together with meetings because we're told we're companies supposed to have meetings, and we don't know exactly what it should look like, what it should be, what the agenda should be, and it becomes, sometimes it can turn into a bitch fest, sometimes it can turn into just like, we're problem solving reactively, sometimes it just turns into just chit chat, and then it's like, okay, let's get on with our day. So I look at every meeting you have right now and start with what is the desired outcome of this meeting. Second would be, what is the best, most efficient agenda to get that desired outcome? Typically, it's 4 to 6 points of conversation in that meeting. And I go through and I say, how long should each part of this meeting take? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever. I don't like scheduling meetings that go longer than an hour, which is what we were doing in our operations initiative review. So we broke out an events meeting, we broke out the leadership for the production coaching side, and now we got that meeting down to 45 minutes because we're like, okay, what is the most efficient way to get the desired outcome of our initiative review, and how long should it take? What are each part of that meeting, and how long should each part of that meeting take? Because even as an owner, sometimes it's easy to go down rabbit holes, it's easy to get distracted, and it's easy to take on more in a meeting than is necessary, and then you lose the desired outcome of that meeting, and then you leave the meeting with more to-do items than you started it with, and you didn't actually get to the items you actually wanted to talk to. And I know I'm not the only person who has had meetings that operate that way, but even in sales meetings, are you there just to talk about products? Or are you there to talk about pricing? Are you there to bitch about who hasn't signed? Or are you there to look at pipeline, figure out next steps, understand who are hot prospects, who should sign the next 30 days, what activity are we doing, who are we chasing, what are we going after? It's really easy to have meetings that lose their oomph, right? That fire that people get excited about with meetings. And, there's no reason to take a 15-minute meeting and make it 30, or take a 30-minute meeting and make it an hour on your calendar. Especially in our world, time is our asset, right? We sell our time to clients for coaching and consulting and conversations. And so time is the asset that we sell, and we have to be very cognizant of that in the grand scheme of the process. So we looked at every meeting, what is the desired outcome, what is the agenda, 4 to 6 agenda items typically, how long should each part of that agenda take, and then we look at who benefits most from this meeting. That allowed us to see who doesn't need to be in meetings. Like Mia's sitting here, you guys know she's the podcast producer, but she was sitting through a 90-minute meeting on Tuesdays for literally 3 minutes of conversation that might come up as part of one of her roles and responsibilities, and that just wasn't efficient for her either. And so sometimes if people aren't there, and then other times it was, Clifton as head of coaching for us, there was breakdowns in things that were happening with initiatives that he was getting and not maybe able to articulate to the team as effectively because he wasn't in that meeting, right? So Mia didn't need to be there, Clifton needed to be there. Who would benefit most from this meeting is the we'll say the 4th step: desired outcome, agenda, how long each agenda item should take, and then who benefits most from being in this meeting. I would say, as a rule of thumb, settle on too little people, too few people, as opposed to too many people. Because you have too many people in there, it turns into extra conversations, extra opinions, extra input, and that person who maybe doesn't benefit from that meeting is now not doing something that they should be doing on the other side. So look at the meetings, figure out what's best for you. This is one activity we did as part of our Q3 initiatives related to updated roles, responsibilities, updated position outline agreements, updated meetings, agendas, and attendees, as well as overall looking at the org chart to kind of see what's next. So hopefully this is helping you. Hopefully this helps you in your meetings this week. And if you have meetings right now that just don't feel as valuable as they used to, I would suggest doing those 4 things. What is desired outcome? What is the ideal agenda to get that desired outcome? How long should each of those agenda items take? And who benefits most from being a part of this meeting? And don't be afraid to tell people they're no longer needed in meetings because the agenda no longer suits them. And then in our case, we actually had a few, we'll say, spin-off meetings. We now have a marketing meeting once a month. We have an events meeting separated from that now every other week. We have a production meeting now that's on Fridays every other week. So there's several things now that are happening as spin-offs of that one too long meeting, and now individual people are getting more value out of those meetings. Does it turn into a lot of meetings? Sure. But like in general, I have maybe less than 15 meetings a month now that are imperative to my business success, and I wouldn't trade those for the world. So hopefully that helps you get out there this week with your team and your employees and people around your ecosystem to help you guys win fast and win often.